Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremayne. This is going to be my review of Tyler Perry's The Oval. This is episode 13, Fear of God. So we had a long wait between when The Oval took their hiatus and then they finally came back, and let me tell you, they did not disappoint, and we're going to get right into it. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Please hit that like button, because every time you hit that like button, lets YouTube know it's a good video for soap fans, so you can be part of the soap fam. Or, I have two YouTube channels. You'll know which one you're on, because one has 500 subscribers, and the other one has 20,600 subscribers. So, I'm building both. My Phoenix Tremayne channel is going to be music, movies, reviews, different things like that. So that's the channel I'm building up. My web series and movies channel is the one that has the 20,000 subscribers. So I'm going to put this on actually both of those channels. So please support me on both. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where you get lots of entertainment information. And we're going to get into this Tyler Perry, The Oval. Now, instead of telling you scene by scene, okay, so instead of telling you scene by scene, I'm actually just going to go based on the characters and what happened. So we had Richard, Nancy, and Barry. They, got cornered by the police, and they found the gun. They found the knife, the bloody knife, and they found the money, and also the car with the bullet hole in it. And the family sort of stuck to, I'm not saying a word from my lawyer. The police tried to pressure them through the whole episode. They said the same thing. Don't say nothing. Wait for you get a lawyer. There's a reason why they say, you have the right to remain silent. But a lot of times people feel pressure to not remain silent because they feel like if they remain silent, they're going to look guilty. When in truth is, having your lawyer present protects you more than this police officer feeling you're guilty or not guilty. So wait for your lawyer, which is what they did. And they didn't have to wait for their lawyer because they had a neighbor who was trying to find out what was going on, and she ended up calling Sam, and Sam actually came through for them. The police detective said that he didn't really think that the family, because they also found were called because of Tally killed herself in a house, and he said because of blood spatter and everything, they assumed that it looked like a suicide. They're fine with that. They have it, and he's like, well, can I have them? And he's like, Sam, what happened to that job at the White House you were promising me? And he's like, I got you. And he's like, but I need all three of them. And he's like, I'll give you all three, but the boy Barry has a lot he needs to be dealt with when his forensic comes back. He's gonna be in big trouble, and we're just gonna rearrest him. So Sam basically comes through for them, and he also talks to the father, Richard, about finds out that Picky had the gun, and since he was murdered, framing him for the shooting that happened, which I predicted in episode 12 that was going to happen, because everything just kind of lined up for Barry to be able to get off. And he said, the police officer said, but you got to get him to get Kareem to drop the charges, which is the guy at the pharmacy. And since him and Sharon are getting a lot closer, I have a feeling in next episode, rather than getting on Kareem's good side, I think he's just going to blow up again, because Barry seems like he's just a big hothead that will constantly be getting in trouble because he can't control his emotions. But they did mention one other thing, that Sam said to Richard that his wife Nancy isn't really gonna like that her nephew is gonna take the fall. So we're probably gonna get a scene where Nancy have to deal with, does she send her kid to jail, or her drug dealing nephew's memory, let that be the end of that, which we all know she's gonna pick. So then we go to the president, who's in shock because Denise's hair got cut off. And we thought that Kyle was actually the one who cut her head off, because I was saying for the episode 12 that he was really the only one who had an opportunity to be able to, while the president was in the other room, to just come in, cut her head off, and jump back out the door. But he was way too unprepared for what he saw in that room. They showed him doing a cleanup and trying to get rid of the blood and using red wine as a way of trying to cover up some of the blood too, and trying to get the president to get in the shower, wash all the blood off, and the president just in shock. So we know that it's going to be Victoria's parents, the father, that's responsible for it, or having somebody do it. So because Kyle was so unprepared, I think that there's probably some secret entrance into the bedroom, or what a friend of mine suggested today, that maybe the president has an escape room that he can use to escape in emergencies, that in the bedroom. So somebody came in there and killed her. Obviously, she didn't cut her own head off. And so now we know the president didn't have nothing to do with it, and Kyle didn't have anything to do with it. But Max ends up screwing Kyle over, because Kyle is in the elevator. He's got the body and a lot of the bloody sheets and things like that, and he flipped the bed over. So I'm like, the president's still gonna be sleeping in the bed with her blood underneath. That may come back to bite later on, but we'll see. And poor Jean the maid, came in and did something really stupid. Now, when you work in the White House, dealing with politics and whatnot, when she looked over in that bin and saw blood, we know what she was supposed to do. Mind her damn business. She's supposed to mind her business. She said, "Oh, isn't it a nice day out today? How's the weather? Oh, I think the weather's gonna be fine. What sports is out playing right now? Is it time for the Super Bowl? You make some stuff up, but the last thing you do is pull back a bloody sheet, and now you are witness to a crime." And so he just grabbed her mouth so she wouldn't scream, and we have no idea what's going to happen next. I don't think he's going to kill Jean, hopefully, but she's messed up pretty bad, because she should have minded her business and saw blood and just left it alone. Just left it alone. It's the White House. Even Marilyn Monroe didn't survive her little scandal with the White House. So we also have, let me see, Victoria with her mother, Maud. You have no idea how hard it was for me to find out this lady's name. Even the character's name. I don't even think they said the character's name on the show. But I finally found a name that I didn't recognize, of the mother whose name is Janae Michelle, is the actress's name. And when I looked her up, because they didn't have a picture on IMDb, so I had to go on ahead. It was either IMDb or Wikipedia, because I had to look at both. And when I finally found her, I saw she was on Blackula and some 70s horror movies and things like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely her. But it also said that Victoria's mother name was Maud. So now we know, at least have a name for her. But Victoria's mother, Maud, talked about sending the kids to a boarding school that she sent Victoria to. She briefly mentioned how harsh it was for Victoria. Victoria had this very scared look on her face, and when she wanted to send the kids, because, well, the daughters, Henri, and the son had his pants unzipped, seemed like he was jerking off to, or looking at his sister. And Victoria, surprisingly, did not want the kids to go to that boarding school, which tells you how bad it is. So she still loves her kids, she just don't like her kids. So Victoria gets into the car, to the limo, and she disciplines her kids. She threatens to hit her son, and he doesn't seem to care. He's probably into that. And her daughter wants emancipation, but she lets her know she can't have it for 4 years, where technically in 4 years she wouldn't even need it. But we then go to the most entertaining of the scenes, of the sequences, and that's with Bobbie giving Lily the pictures of Donald and Kyle, and he talks about how much she needed him, how tight she held on to him, and that's how he knew that she wasn't getting loving at home. And they actually have some decent chemistry. You know, she's probably gonna give him some more soon, pretty soon. So what I loved in this episode is when she confronted her husband and she threw that leg up there. And any man, especially any man who hasn't had sex in a while, is going to react to that kitty in his face. And if he's straight, he's going to react to the kitty in his face, because he's got this beautiful wife that he hasn't been doing anything with, and she's hot and ready. And why not complete that fantasy of doing it in the White House? And when he rejects her, she starts talking about Bobbie and how, you know, did you send him to seduce me? And then Donald starts to realize that she had sex with Bobbie. He starts to get mad. And then she pulls his card by throwing the pictures in his face of him and Kyle together. And he is just in shock. And then he becomes very, you know, apologetic. And she's like, I want a divorce. And he's like, they're not going to let you get a divorce. So she's like, who's they? And he's like, you know, I only got this job. In order to get this job, I had to be married. And so he tries to explain to her that there's something bigger going on. And if she tries to divorce him, basically she's going to get killed. So she'll be the new Denise. She's the next one to get her head cut off. So she kind of pulls it together a little bit because her client is the first lady who's ready to see her. And, you know, he's like, just do that and then I'll explain. And then she's going to have a confrontation with the first lady next week, which I can't wait to see. But yeah, this was a very good episode. I was happy that Adolfo was back. It definitely gave people a lot to talk about. And I'm looking forward to next week. Tyler Perry has done a good job with this show. Makes me miss Ambitions, because Ambitions is also an equally amazing soap opera, a black soap opera. And I wish I could have both. But yeah, The Oval. That is my new sustenance for black primetime soaps. Thanks for watching. I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and I will catch you in the next video.